Shut up and sit down.
Hey everybody, welcome to another Corporate Gamer podcast. I'm your host, Corporate Gamer. This is episode 9, recorded on May 2nd, 2017. Nintendo 2DS XL announced. I hope everybody had a great week. It's been relatively slow in terms of gaming news, at least that caught my eye. But I think we have enough things here to get us through another half hour. Before we get started, I wanted to let everyone know that I'm now, my podcast can be listened on Stitcher and on TuneIn. You can listen to it on the app or on the website. Just have to search for Corporate Gamer and you should be able to find this podcast. So it's another 2 places in addition to iTunes, Google Play, and SoundCloud. So just wanted to get a quick plug in there before we get into the podcast. So if you enjoy it, subscribe and tell your friends. What did I do in the last week? So in the last week, I've actually started reading 7 Dirty Words: The Life and Crime of George Carlin. I've actually, reading is it's not actually reading; it's the audiobook. They have a great there's a great program here in Montreal and Quebec where we have the Bibliothèque Nationale and the Montreal Library Association, where you're able to rent audiobooks on their app, and it's absolutely free, or you can reserve a physical book and you can go get them, and you have it, I think you have it for 3 weeks, I believe, 21 days, and you can reserve it for longer, or you have a waiting list and you can be the next one on the list if the book is available. So it's the first book that I get through this program, and you know what, it's actually pretty cool. I didn't have to go anywhere. I didn't have to do anything. It's totally free. It's one of the advantages of paying taxes here in Quebec. I know we often complain that we pay way too many taxes here, but at least there's something that can come out of it, and this is one of them. So all you need to do is you just need to have your a library card for the Montreal Library, or the National Library, Quebec National Library, downtown, and you can use the app with no issue. You just have to sign in and you're good to go. There's quite a few books that are there. I think the next one I'm going to read is probably the David Letterman book. I haven't had a chance to read it yet. So right now I'm getting through 7 Dirty Words. It's roughly 10 chapters, about an hour a chapter. But with my commute and all the time that I have working and so on and so forth, I can just listen to it while I'm working, and it's really cool. So, 7 Dirty Words the Life and Crime of George Carlin. Really interesting. In terms of game, what did I play this week? I didn't really play much of anything. I can continue playing Darksiders, which is it's really cool. I just heard today, I didn't get a chance to read up much on it, but maybe I'll talk to it next week. But they actually announced the Darksiders 3, which I'm pretty excited about. I like the series so far. There's a few things that I'm not crazy about, like the camera work and so on and so forth, but in general I love the games, and I think 3 could be really cool, especially it's on a new console, so the HD treatment and that would be really cool. And they just remastered the first 2 games as well, so I'm looking forward to that. So I continue playing the original Darksiders, which I downloaded for free. I've played on my iPhone. I've pretty much played Blocky Football by Full Fat, and Mega Superworm, which is an older game. I think I've been playing it for 3-4 years now, but I don't get fed up of playing it. It's always fun. You play this huge worm that keeps getting bigger and bigger, and you essentially eat people. There's also Death Worm, which is a more realistic looking version of the game, but I like the cartoon version much better. It's really, really fun. I really enjoy it, and I think it's still free. If not, I think it's 99 cents, so it's worth the pickup if you wanted to play. All right, so news of the week. All right, so first story. This one has been getting quite a bit of airplay, and news outlets have been talking about this. Nintendo announced a new 2DS XL. It's going to be retail for about $149.99. It will be available July 28th, but you can pre-order now. I don't know if there's going to be any shortages. Nintendo is known for that. A lot of people are saying if this is replacing the 3DS, which a lot of people have had a lot of complaints about. It's useless in a sense. So the 3DS essentially is a 3D version of it, and the 2DS obviously is for 2D games. The 3DS is $199, so it's actually more expensive than a 2DS. But people are wondering if it's actually it's still useful with the fact that you have the Switch that has a handheld mode, which can kind of take that version as well. Could replace that version. I think that could be true. I haven't bought a Nintendo handheld since I think the DS, which has been quite a while. I don't play enough games on the go to merit me playing it. And at home, I just play whatever I have on my phone, or I have my Xbox, and so for me, it really doesn't make a difference. It's a pretty sweet price point at $150. It's not too expensive. It looks pretty slick. I don't know if I would, have my young cousins play with this, but it looks pretty slick. It looks pretty sweet. Yeah, so I don't have much to say about it other than the fact that it's coming out. I do think that the Switch will kind of replace at one point in time maybe the Nintendo DS's, but for now I think Nintendo 2DS will be the next thing, and maybe eventually they will fade out Nintendo 3DS. But time will tell, and we'll see about that. So, yeah, Nintendo 2DS XL being released. Next on the list, I saw this article on GameRant.com regarding Nintendo eShop profits are dwarfed by PSN, which is pretty, strange, because normally when you compare, services, usually the Xbox Live version is there. They didn't compare Xbox Live for whatever reason. I have no clue. And then compared it with PSN, I guess, because PSN is the next one in line. It's, Xbox Live, PSN, and after everyone else. They did show in the article, and I will put a link in the show notes. They did show a chart where, yes, the eShop is not generating as much revenue right now as the PSN. But I think in a way, it's kind of unfair. Number one, they don't offer the same services. So I'm pretty sure that as of right now, you can't, the free games per month, you can buy some games that I know, but the free games per month is not available. You have a machine that has less space, so the fact that you can buy e-games online, I don't think would be attractive for Switch gamers. I guess for the Wii U, as well. And also for the period of time that it's been out, the PSN or the PS4 has about, I think it's 60 million units in the world. Although the Switch has been selling pretty well. They've been, I think in the first month they sold 2.7 million or something along those lines, which is pretty impressive for 1 month. But, you can't compare. It's not even in the same ballpark. They don't offer necessarily the same services, and right now I think Nintendo's getting their feet wet. I don't think the services that they announced is enough to keep people. It's not something that people will be energized about, personally. However, like every other service that ever came out under the sun, they've improved over time. Let's remember that PSN, when it first came out, kind of sucked. Xbox Live, it was always good in terms of online play, but it's only after PlayStation Network released some free games every month that in this generation for Xbox One, they decided to do the same, and it's been working really, really well for them, especially for backwards compatibility games. So, I'm not sure if I agree with them comparing those two systems or those two online shopping shopping stores, but I think you have to give at least eShop some time to get into the game. And PSN, well, although they have more units worldwide, I think if for many players that have had my limited experience with PSN, and people that have, they ask which version do you like, PSN or Xbox Live, usually they lean a little bit more towards Xbox Live, just for, at one point it used to be reliability reasons. I think that's been pretty much the same now. Both get attacked pretty much at the same level. I just find the quality of games that come out for Xbox Live have been a little bit stronger than the PSN, but PSN has come out with games in the past for free, and it actually helped boost older games selling their games after that month. So yeah, I don't think this is a fair comparison, but I'll give the link in the show notes at GameRant.com, and you guys can judge for yourself. All right, this one is a little bit of a, I don't know, I guess I would call him a dumbass, for lack of a better word. Husband spends entire savings on Twitch streamers, now flat broke. So what happened, the short story of this is, this guy, I guess he's a big Twitch supporter, and he watches Twitch a lot, must probably stream, I guess, at one point in time. And he's 28, so he's really young. And they had put money away. And I'll give you the story, the amount a little bit later, which is actually not that bad. However, he would donate money to other streamers to support them, which is great. A lot of people do that. However, he would do that in spurts of $1,000 a pop, which is pretty expensive. So basically, the guy had $38,000 in savings, and it went up in spoke. And how the wife figured it out is she went to buy groceries one day, and she came to pay, and the card was rejected. And she wasn't able to pay for groceries. Obviously, she was a little pissed. I love to watch people play on Twitch. I get to watch games that I haven't played in a long time, I don't have, or games that I don't really have time to get to. Like Gears of War 4 or whatever the case may be. Yes, once in a while, maybe I'll donate a $10 here or a $5 there. But to compromise my savings for Twitch, maybe not. I think it would have been one thing if the guy, gave all his savings to a worthy cause. I'm not saying that supporting a Twitch streamer is not a worthy cause, but it's a lot more understanding than if you give it to a charitable organization than to actually give it on a Twitch streamer. So so basically I categorize this as a dumbass of the week. Please don't do this. And the number one rule of when you're married, or even when you're not married, even if with your common law or you're with somebody for a very long time, you always confirm with them. I think that's rule number 1. That, and number 2 is saying yes, dear. That's about the only thing you can you can do, and that's sure to be guaranteed in a relationship. So, husband is flat broke now after giving to Twitch streamers. Wow, this guy's dumb. All right, so on to the games of the week. So this is for games being released between May 1st and May 7th. It's a relatively short list this week. So you have, and forgive me if I pronounce this wrong. So on Tuesday, May 2nd, you have Nioh Dragon of North DLC and PvP update for PS4. ACA Neo Geo Last Resort for PS4. The Caligula effect for the Vita. Nog for PS4. Super Rude Bear Resurrection, for PS4. Tumbleseed for PC, PS4, and Switch. Then on Wednesday, May 3rd, you have The Legend of Heroes, Trails in the Sky, the third for PC. Thursday, you have Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy, the Telltale series of retail for PS4 and Xbox One. Flat Out 4, Total Insanity for PS4. Triple Breakout for the Wii U. And on Friday, you have Prey for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Dreamfall Chapters for PS4 and Xbox One. AFL Evolution for PS4. And The World to the West, PC, PS4, and Xbox One. So those are your released games for the week. To be honest, the only one that really interests me of all of those, granted I don't know many of them, but is Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxy, which I've heard mixed reviews about. I've heard that it's not as exciting as it could be. But then again, I like Telltale series, so I like them. So I like the Batman series that they released. So maybe I'll give it a try. They have a tendency of releasing these for free on Xbox Live, so maybe I'll wait till they get released probably next year or something. Other than that, Neo Geo Last Resort, which is on PS4, which is seems interesting. Super Rude Bear Resurrection. I don't know what that is, and I don't know if I want to know what that is. And you have that one Wii U release every week for Triple Breakout, which I don't know why people still release stuff for the Wii U. You figured there would be Switch stuff. There doesn't seem to be anything for this. No, there's one Switch game this week, Tumbleseed, for PC, PS4, and Switch. So that's it for your games of the week. Let me know what you guys think about the stories and about the game of the week. If you guys played any of those games, let me know how you liked them, how you didn't like it, how they sucked, how they were great. Let me know in the show notes. You can always go to my Corporate Gamer website, Corporate Gamer Facebook page. Talking point of the week. So I wanted to do something a little different. Normally it's a general topic and I talk about it for about 10-20 minutes. But this time around I wanted to be a little different. I wanted to actually talk about my 5 YouTube gaming channels that I watch the most often, the most regularly. I think I mentioned this before on a previous episode where I like to actually put on my YouTube app on my Xbox and let it play. And I just watch it, and I watch my subscription videos and so on and so forth. So these are the ones that I watch on a regular basis that are gaming channels. I have other ones, but these are my go-tos and I actively watch very often. So number 5, I have Review Tech USA. I really like... he's one of those in-your-face, honest type of guys. He's not scared to give his opinion. I like his... he has a few rebuttal... he answers his viewers, which is really, really cool. I like his take on it on a lot of topics because he gives a, you may not agree with him, but he gives a reason, a good reason for to to listen to him. He gives you his side of the story, and it usually makes sense. I he does his research before doing anything, and he comes out for a few videos a week, and I think that he's done really, really well. He has two types of videos: one where he's in front of the camera, which is relatively rare. The other one is it's him just voice over some gameplay, and the gameplay is just some kind of like a background thing where he actually talks about a topic, and the game is usually something related about the topic or something along those lines, and he talks over it about a topic. So Review Tech USA, just search for that and you'll be able to find his channel. Number 4, the Happy Console Gamer. This is one that I've actually watched really recently. I found really, really recently. I ended up finding him because he was on Electric Playground with Victor Lucas. He goes on his podcast ever so often, his video podcast, because I think Electric Playground now is not on TV anymore. I think it's just an online thing. Victor Lucas used to do reviews on The Run, Electric Playground, and I think now he just does online stuff. And Happy Console Gamer was on one of his shows, and I actually liked him. And watching his shows, at the beginning, you're kind of like, he's always a happy-go-lucky guy, so he seems to always look at the positive stuff for everything, but it's actually refreshing in a way, because a lot of times when you're looking at or you're listening to podcasts or there's rarely that silver lining, or looking at the positive first and then looking at the negative. Happy Console Gamer gives us topics on, favorite games, whatever the case may be, consoles and so on and so forth, and he always looks at the positive first. He always seems to be happy, which I guess that's why it's called a Happy Console Gamer. He's entertaining. He releases quite a few videos per week. I really like him. His topics are not necessarily relevant to the week's news, but he'll often, if it's E3 or it's a big announcement, he'll cover it as well. So I like him quite a bit. Next on the list, number 3, Pat the NES Punk. I've actually watched him. One of the first times that I've actually watched him was on Cinemassacre on AVGN, actually, where I think he played on James and Mike Monday or something along those lines, and I was wondering who the hell he was, and I started looking at his videos, he has snippets of his podcast that he has, the Unnecessary Podcast, and he has videos where he has on his YouTube where it ranges from his podcast, snippets from his podcasts, to flea markets, to skits, to playthrough Let's Plays. He's been doing it for quite a few years now. He's entertaining. His views on stuff is very... You may not agree. Again, it's one of those things like Review Tech USA where he may not agree with them, but you respect his opinion because he always backs it up with facts or with his point of view, and usually I can support whatever he's saying. I may not necessarily agree with it, like I said, but it's his videos are pretty entertaining. They're fun and they're informative. And obviously, if you don't know Pat the NES Punk, he's a collector of old video games, kind of in the same vein as James Rolfe for AVGN. That's it. So he's really good. That's all I have to say about that for now. I think that went a little too long. Next on the list is number 2, and I don't think he releases many videos anymore, but the fact that his old videos are still online is It's really, really cool. It's the gaming historian. He's done some really, really good work, and there's some videos that I've watched, especially his video on the ESRB, the rating system for video games, and the history behind that and how it came. It's like a 30-minute video, really, really well thought out, really well written. Yes, obviously the videos at the beginning weren't amazing quality, but the videos were always informative, and they have that true documentary feel to it. It's really, really cool. If you have a chance to go look at his videos, again, I don't think he releases that many videos anymore, at least to the caliber that he used to. But some stuff that he's released previously, like the original Mario Brothers and so on and so forth. So yeah, so Gaming Historian, really, really awesome. If you like that type of history lessons on video games, essentially, that's what you'll get. So before I get to my number one pick, which I'm pretty sure if you've listened to me and you've listened to my previous picks, I've alluded to my number one pick. But before I get to it, I wanted to give my honorable mentions or my bonuses. So one of them is IGN, and the reason why I don't put IGN on my top 5 is I do watch it fairly often, but it's one of those big corporate chains, and they always release videos, well produced, very polished. I don't watch all their videos. Essentially, there's Podcast Unlocked. I used to watch Game Scoop. They used to have Year of Awesome or something along those lines, which is really cool. But I don't. It's one of those things where IGN is either a hit or a miss. I find sometimes they're really too fanboy. Like their review of the Switch. Like if you listen to them, they were pretty much like, this is the best thing since sliced bread. And towards the end, they finally it doesn't have this, doesn't have that. But, for about an hour, they kind of were going gaga over everything that's Switch. And I think it was a little overboard. I personally like Podcast Unlocked. I watch it. I watch or I listen to it all the time. And it's I actually like Ryan McCaffrey. He's really down the middle. Yes, he's a fan of Xbox, but he's a fan of video games. He's not afraid to actually say, well, it sucks or not. Some of the other guys on the panel sometimes can be a little iffy. But for the actual host of the show, I think he's really, really good. So I didn't put in my top 5 because I think they're not self-made, I guess. And I think they're going to do just fine on their own. But I do listen to them on occasion. The last honorable mention is actually, I don't know if anybody knows there's a YouTube channel, Joe Santagato, which he comments on various things. Like he has like people with the worst tattoos and people of Walmart part 1, 2, 3, and he has like a bunch of other things. He even has a podcast called The Basement Yard. His brother Keith, which used to be a co-host on his periodically he was a co-host on his podcast. He started a new channel for gaming, essentially just looking at him playing games like for 8 to 10 minutes. He releases 2-3 videos a week. However, I think it's a good on its own, it's not that amazing as a channel. However, because I like the Joe Santagato stuff, Keith Santagato kind of works in with that. It's kind of like an extra type of thing. and that's why I like it. His comments are hilarious. He has no filter. He often is with Joe in his videos. He likes to play Call of Duty. Likes to play Destiny. And yeah, he just likes to videotape himself while he records himself while he plays. Yeah, but it's entertaining. If you don't mind swearing, he likes to scream and swear very, very often. But yeah, Keith Santagato. Just search for his name and you'll find his channel. So my number one top 5 YouTube gaming channel, as you probably have guessed, is Cinemassacre and Cinemassacre Plays. I put them both together, but essentially it's the AVGN, James Rolfe and Mike Matai. I've been watching these guys James Rolfe since at least 2009. I caught a glimpse of his, I think it was Screw Attack. I caught a glimpse of some of his videos, and then I fell in love with the character. I have to admit, he hasn't really released constantly for AVGN per se, the character, but they keep releasing new videos, new content, playthroughs. You have James and Mike Mondays. You have movie reviews. He does other things like, he used to have Cinemassacre, Monster Madness, which he stopped. Unfortunately, he stopped last year. It was his last one. But he's focusing on other piece of content. Mike Matai was very behind the scenes at the beginning, but now he's more in front of the camera. And I think what happened is at one point when James was making his movie, they needed to think of different ways of releasing content, right? Because for about 10 months he couldn't release much because he was filming and post-production and so on and so forth. So they were looking at stuff to get released, and this is where James and Mike Monday came out. There's Let's Plays with Cinemassacre Plays is essentially Mike Matai playing games, or Orion. He does reviews with him as well. They play random games. Sometimes they're quirky games that nobody knows about. Sometimes it's known games. They release constantly during the week, at least 2 to 3 videos a week. With those two channels, or two distinct channels. If you haven't heard of these guys or you haven't seen AVGN, please go look at it, especially the ones at the beginning. Where you saw that James had a lot of time and he used to make skits and so on and so forth. He was really, really good. He still is. I think the quality of the videos of the AVGN videos have gone a little bit down. I don't think he puts in as much effort. But I still respect everything that he does. The fact that he was able to create a YouTube channel with, I think, over 2 million subscribers. It's amazing, and I think everybody should. Everybody should go and subscribe to that channel. So there you go, my top 5 YouTube gaming channels. Let me know if I missed any that you guys like, or if there's any, or if you didn't like the order that I put these ones in. Let me know. You can let me know on. I'll let you know where to go later on in a few minutes. Review of the week. So this week, my review of the week on aroundtable.ca is Zeros, the game. It's a platformer that was free when I had played it. It's an older review. I'm re-releasing the just because I think it's been a while. I kind of got bored at one point. I kind of was doing the same thing over and over again, and at one point there's no direction, and I got stuck, and I just gave up, I think. But at the beginning it was fun. It's a platformer. I think it's kind of in the vein of The Incredibles in terms of visual aspect of it. It was free. I had no reason not to try it. So so you can go and read my review on Zero on aroundtable.ca. It's called Zeros, Zeros. So that's it for this week. Hope that you liked the show. You can let me know what you think on Facebook at Corporate Gamer, On Twitter, CorporateGamer9. You can go to aroundtable.ca and use the contact form there. Like I mentioned before, I have my podcast on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and now TuneIn and Stitchers. And you can also follow me on Twitch. I don't stream as much as I used to, but I hope to pick that up again. You can go to Corporate Gamer 9 and you'll find my Twitch stream. All right, guys, have a wonderful week. Don't party too much, and talk